What is up, guys? I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're covering r/relationships. You thought I was going to say I'm the butthole, right? Not today. I'm giving you a break today because some of you guys have been saying that you want something a bit different and I don't mind doing that at all. If you're new here, please consider hitting the like, that subscribe, and maybe that notification bell too, as it all truly helps out our channel. You can now follow us on these podcast services. If you travel about a lot, put me in your pocket and take me with you. And also consider supporting the channel if you have a moment. Obviously, no pressure to do so, where you'll have access to future member videos. And a huge thank you to Coffee Science Girl for switching over your membership from YouTube to Patreon. Much appreciated. And thank you to Rainbow Queen 247 and Curie JFL. You're all truly appreciated. Absolutely amazing. The support recently. Don't get me started. I burst into tears again. Thank you so much. And with that being said, let's get into today's stories. Much love, guys. Our first story comes from Big Platypus. My 24 female boyfriend, 26 male, of 6 months told me that I need to unlove the men from my past before I can love him. I've been dating Mark for 6 months and I've known him for around 8 months. I just moved to my city 9 months ago for grad school and Mark was one of the first people that I become close with. He's been really great and helped me feel comfortable in a new city. Recently, Mark said, "I love you" for the first time. Everything was fine for a while until he told me that I was the first person he's ever said that to. I was a little surprised, but not in a bad way, and didn't really make a big deal of it. He asked me how many other guys I've said it to. I told him one. That seemed to bother him. Mark knows that I'm occasionally in contact with one of my exes, Eli, and it has never been an issue for Mark. However, after our first conversation, Mark asked me if Eli was the ex that I said I love you to. I was honest and said yes. Background: Eli and I grew up together and dated from when we were 15 to 22. We broke up when I got accepted to grad school and found out I'd have to move across the country. Because we realised that we had grown into different people and weren't going to spend our lives together, the breakup was extremely amicable and we remained close friends while I was in town before I moved. And we talk maybe once a week currently, just basic "how are you" texts. Mark asked me how I feel about Eli now. I said that I don't love him romantically anymore. He was a huge part of my life since childhood and I still have very positive feelings about him and consider him an important person. Mark kept pressing, asking me if I still love Eli in any sense. I said that no, I am not in love with him, but Mark almost didn't seem to believe me. He kept prodding me until I finally said I will probably always love Eli as a person and respect him a lot, but I have no romantic connection to him and fully accept that we are different people now. Mark was upset by this. The next day, Mark told me he doesn't think that I can truly love him unless I'd learn to unlove the men from my past. I asked what he meant and again clarified that I'm not in love with Eli. And he said that I should retain no love in any form for any other guys I've been with. I was quite honestly shocked and tried to explain to him that me loving someone as a friend is totally and completely different than being romantically in love with someone, and that he is the only one I have those feelings for. He insisted that I need to change my feelings about Eli. He almost seemed mad that I'm not resentful over the breakup. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Is this totally weird and out of line, or am I overreacting? Just to be clear, Eli and I talk very sparingly, probably 10 texts a week, if that, just to check in. I have no feelings for him anymore, but he was a huge part of my life for many years, and I don't think it's unreasonable for me to generally have positive feelings for him. Is Mark out of line, or am I? Edit, just for context, since people were hung up on the 10 texts a week, Mark and I easily exchange 50 to 100 texts a day, and we see each other multiple times a week, so I consider 10 texts to be a brief conversation. It's a very surface level "how are you, how's work" type of thing. It's not in depth. Now we do have an update on this one as well, which I'm going to go to in a second, but I'm going to read some of the comments first so you can get you can piece this storyline together. Mech 1 Up For Her says, "I know he can't control his feelings, but is he 26 or 16? 37 Pieces of Flair says, he's got to be 6-year-old tops. Tabbycat4 says, anytime someone, especially someone you are dating, makes you feel like you are taking crazy pills, that is a huge red flag. He's being unreasonable. Unhappy Medium replies, yeah, a lot of people seem to be telling OP his actions are okay because she still has regular contact with the ex, But even if he's just insecure and wants her to go low or no contact with the ex, his focus on her having said "I love you" and telling her she has to unlove him is a huge red flag, especially since he's apparently also in regular contact with an ex according to one of her comments. OP, you can go low or no contact with the ex if you still have value for this guy, but I'd be on the lookout for other signs of being controlling, or just run away. Now we move on to the update post, which looks like it was, I can't tell exactly, but it looks like it was posted like a month later. So here we go. Figured I'd update my post from about a month ago. Unfortunately, there wasn't a happy ending, but I'm very grateful for a lot of advice I received here. Thank you Reddit for helping me keep my head on straight. After I made my first post, I read all the comments and thought about everything for a few days. A lot of people mentioned that they would not be comfortable with the frequency of my communication with my ex. I thought that was very fair. People also mentioned that Mark's behaviour was pretty controlling and not okay. I also thought that was fair. I went to talk to Mark and told him that I understood he was uncomfortable with me being in touch with Eli weekly, and that I would be totally willing to cut that down. I also reiterated again that I was not currently in love with Eli and hadn't been for a while. Mark was understanding this time and seemed happy with the fact that I offered to cut down my contact with Eli. But then I told Mark that although I was willing to do this, I wasn't happy with how he approached the issue, and I found his behaviour controlling. I basically told him that I want him to approach issues in a more rational way, and I would appreciate it if he opened a dialogue rather than just telling me what to do, and that I wouldn't put up with him trying to command me to do something, especially something so ridiculous. I said everything in the same tone as I used for the first half of the conversation. I wasn't yelling at him or admonishing him, just trying to let him know where my boundaries are. You guys, Mark flew off the handle. He started screaming at me. I obviously wasn't having it, so I got up to leave. He started throwing dishes and random kitchen items at me and grabbed me and slammed my head into the door jamb. I ended up getting a nasty black eye and a busted lip. Luckily for me, a neighbour heard the commotion and called the cops. Mark was arrested and I was taken to the hospital. Yes, I'm pressing charges and filed for a restraining order. Overall, it was a horrible incident, but I'm glad this happened earlier in the relationship rather than later, and I'm forever grateful for the neighbour who called the cops. I'm also grateful for most of you guys for telling me that I wasn't being insane in my first post, and for pointing out the early warning signs. It wasn't the best ending, but I'm okay and I'm glad it's over. Take this as a cautionary tale, I guess. Edit. I've gotten a lot of concerned messages, which I appreciate, telling me to watch out for Mark now, and that abusers are often their most dangerous right after a breakup. Just to ease everyone's mind, I'm staying with a classmate, who Mark does not know, for the time being, so I'm well protected. Thanks everyone. Well, that went from semi-concerning to get the fuck out of there in one update, right? Holy jeez. I gotta say, from like the first half though, when it was saying about, when he said that you got to learn to unlove someone. What the fuck does that mean? How do you do that? And I'm glad OP got out of that situation pretty damn quick, let's hope that guy gets some sort of help or a fist to the face, one or the other. Don't forget to let me know what you guys think of that story by posting a comment below. Our next story is from a throwaway account. My 33 female roommate's 29 female dog is literally killing me. I have allergies and asthma to animals. Dog allergies weren't that bad in the past. I asked her previously no animals. The company who leases the property has that rule as well, but she brought a dog anyway. For the sake of not starting fights, I didn't say anything. My allergies and asthma have escalated to me having to be on steroids every couple of months for the past year. It's gotten so bad that my doctor told me that something now or something dangerous can happen. The roommate has now been asked to leave by the landlord by March 30th. They signed a contract saying she would do so. Now, it looks like she isn't going to do that or wait until the last minute. She's also been fired from the job that gives us this housing. I'm dreading this conversation. I know it's going to be ugly. She has flat out refused to follow any of the rules the company had regarding the dog and controlling the environment either. She was a higher up, so she didn't think they'd kick her out right away. My family lives far away and I have nowhere else to go. I'm thinking of bringing this to the company heads. Rules are obviously not being enforced and I could die as a result. What should I do? A deleted user commented and quoted, "For the sake of not starting fights, I just didn't say anything." Then replies, "You need to stop being a doormat and start advocating for yourself. They broke your agreement and contravened the lease. They don't get to be treated with kid gloves. They get to be told to get rid of the dog and/or get the fuck out. Stand up for yourself. This is, as you say, literally killing you. Don't commit suicide by being polite, least of all to people who don't deserve it." And then we had an update post on this one. "Thank you everyone so much for your advice. It gave me the confidence boost I needed to go to the higher ups. My roommate's behaviour had progressively gotten worse after posting. She has stopped bathing the dog to protest being fired and kicked out. Also a fuck you to my allergies. She has stopped sorting recycling and started throwing trash away in the recycling bins, taking other people's food, and several other things that just make you say, what the fuck? I know after seeing what you guys were saying and seeing the behaviour from her, I had to speak up and be so loud that no one could ignore me. I also knew I had to make the hard choice of resigning and moving back home if the company wasn't going to take my worries seriously. Since it is company housing, I demanded a hearing with the company heads and the landlord. I took my visit summaries from the doctor's appointments and told them how this needed to stop and the move out date needed to be sooner. If that didn't happen, I would be forced to resign. They were all appalled and they wished I would have spoken up sooner, a mistake I will never make again. They made a new contract they made her sign, pushing the move out date to January 25th. They also stripped her of some company items, phone and computer they were going to let her previously keep. She's going to be banned from company property as well after that date. In addition to all this, the company will be reimbursing me for any medical bills I have because of the dog allergies. I think this is the best outcome I could have gotten realistically. Thank you guys once again. And I think it's a pretty good outcome. I like it when we get an update where there's a decent outcome, especially she's getting her medical bills repaid to her, which I think is a great thing. And she isn't going to die from asthma. What kind of psycho though buys a dog even though it's in their sort of rules not to have any pets or anything like that? Who does that kind of thing? It's absolutely insane. Let me know what you guys think about this story in the comments below. Our next story is from a throwaway account. My son and his friend are a couple. How do I let them know it's okay? Hello Reddit, please bear with me regarding my formatting and things. I've read the rules and things, but I'm an old fart who is rather on the wrong side of 40, so I'm not overly well versed in the art of efficient interneting. My boy is 20 years old, he's absolutely my pride and joy, and there is nothing he could do that would ever make me love him less. For the first half of his life, I regrettably wasn't involved very much. His mother and I parted ways when he was just a few months old, and at the time I was struggling with a heroin addiction and was absolutely not present in his life as I should have been. Nor was I suited for fatherhood at all. I saw him at most 2 to 3 times a year for the first 12 years of his life. I won't discuss details because that is his private story to tell, but when he was 12, he revealed to me that he was being badly mistreated at the hands of his mother and her boyfriend. Despite not being the best father at the time, I didn't want my boy suffering anymore, so I got myself cleaned up and sorted out in order to get full custody of him. I've effectively been a single and sober father ever since, and he has little to no contact with his mother. He's everything a man could want his son to be. He's uniquely kind and fiercely loyal. He's unflinchingly brave, and he's incredibly generous, and despite the horrors he suffered as a child, he's unfailingly positive and sunny to the last. Somehow, I of all people was bestowed with the honour of watching him grow from a sweet young boy to the greatest man I've ever known. I cannot stress enough my pride in him. God, it's bringing me tears. When he was 18, he got accepted into a top-ranking university on the other side of the country. I was sad to see him go, but simultaneously overjoyed that he got his first choice and was starting a new chapter in his life. He comes home every other month, and on the month he doesn't come home, I go to visit him. He's doing well in uni, he's made lots of friends and seems incredibly happy there, which I'm obviously chuffed about. Since his second year, he's lived with his friend in a flat off campus. I've strongly suspected since his early teens that my son is gay, and I now know more or less have confirmation that this is true and that his friend is actually his boyfriend. So, for this COVID-19 faff, my son decided to rather come home and quarantine at mine than stay at his uni flat. His friend, however, would be left alone if my son came back, as he's Canadian and his family are back over there. And I gather he doesn't have the best relationship with them anyway. He asked if it would be okay if friend tagged along to my house, and I said of course, no problem. They've been back at mine for about 6 weeks now. They think they're being subtle, I know, but I've caught them doing coupley things on several occasions now. The friend has slipped up on a couple of times and called my son babe and sweetie in front of me, which I pretended not to notice for the sake of saving embarrassment. There have been several nights where we've been watching a film with the lights off and thinking that I can't see. My son will have his arm around the friend. One day I walked into the lounge and I'm positive they'd just been kissing and were trying to cover it, though I admit I have no confirmation on that one. The most solid evidence, however, came a few mornings ago. I got up very early to go for runs in the morning, hence why I'm making a Reddit post at 5 in the morning. As far as I was told, my son was sleeping in his childhood room and his friend was in the guest room. I don't know what possessed me to do so, but on Tuesday morning I cracked my son's door open to check on him, like I used to when he was a kid. Lo and behold, they're both asleep, snuggled up together, in my son's bed. That's more or less solidified for me that they're together. I didn't say anything, just shut the door and went for my run, and I haven't mentioned it to them yet. What I want advice on is this: how do I let my son and his boyfriend know that I'm okay with them being a couple, and they don't have to feel like they're having to sneak around in my house? I want them to be comfortable here, and I want them to know that I support them both no matter what. Or is that not a good idea? Am I better off leaving it alone and waiting until they tell me themselves, if they ever do? I obviously don't want to force either of them out of the closet, but at the same time, I hate feeling as if they have to feel like they're being forced into the closet in my house. What's the best course of action here? Throwaway Feeling 7 replies, "You're an awesome dad. I'm so glad you'll be able to clean up your life and become such an amazing father to your son. I hope he knows and he sees that too. I'm a lesbian and I can totally relate to what your son is doing and feeling. I like the above advice in just referring to your son's friend as his boyfriend. It's casual and your tone will be the telltale sign of it all. You can also write a letter addressed to him if you wish. I think that would be really sweet, and I would keep it forever if I were him. Thanks for being one of the good ones." Penny Pie Pup 22 replies to Throwaway Feeling 7 by saying, "Hope your family is just as supportive as OP, or like my dad. When I was in my late teens / early 20s going to art school, with short different coloured hair every week and questionable early 2000s style, my dad called me and said one of his super religious work friends disowned his daughter for being a lesbian. Then he went on to say that if I'm gay, that he loves me no matter what, and he would never do that. I'm not, but that still meant a lot to me, and if I was a lesbian, I definitely would have been terrified to tell him. My immediate reaction to OP's post was just slipping in somewhere that they are a cute couple. I would love the note idea too." And then we had an update on this one too. "Hello lovely people, as promised I'm back with an update for you all on what happened the other day. Want to top this off with a big thank you to everyone who left such lovely, thoughtful comments. I honestly didn't expect so many people to see the post. I was thinking maybe an absolute maximum of 100 people, and even that seemed like loads. It was lovely to hear back from so many of you, and I'm forever grateful for the fantastic advice most of you gave. Also overjoyed by my new adopted Reddit children. You're all doing amazing, I'm very proud of you all. Also big thanks to all of the lovely people who sent me such sweet messages of support, and to those who reached out to me because you felt you needed someone to talk to. If anyone feels that way and is in need of any dadly advice, do feel free to give a message and I will do my best to help out. Okay, you all wanted me to shut up and tell you what happened. My son was busy with some assignments both for his freelancing job and his uni work most of the day, and I didn't want to disturb him, so I waited till after dinner to chat. Friend went to have a bath while my son and I watched the telly. I told him face to face, "Son, I love you very much. You don't have to tell me anything you don't want to, but I want you and friend to feel comfortable being yourselves in my house. You don't ever need to hide anything from me, alright?" Well, it turns out a hell of a lot of you were right. Son burst out laughing and said, "Oh, thank God. I reckon you clicked on but didn't say anything because I didn't want to make you feel weird." Basically, we've each been pussyfooting around the topic because neither of us wanted to make the other uncomfortable talking about it. We had a bit of a chat and he confirmed that I'm right in thinking they've been together since their first year of uni, and that's why they moved in together in the second year. However, apparently I'm not as brilliant as an intuitive as I thought, because apparently one of his friends in secondary school was his boyfriend for a year, and I had absolutely no idea. He went and talked to the boyfriend after his bath, then we all had a bit of a further chat. Sadly, a lot of you are right that the reason the boyfriend doesn't have a good relationship with his parents is because he came out to them a few years ago and they effectively disowned him. So I made sure he knows that he's part of our family now. Sorry if that isn't all as exciting and groundbreaking as some of you had hoped. I'm glad this is something my boy no longer feels he has to keep from me, and I'm very glad he's happy with his partner. Thank you again for all the help. Now I think some of you guys do too, we love a wholesome post here. And that dad is totally awesome in the way I think he dealt with most of this. Obviously the son's early life didn't have much to do with him, which was pretty sad anyway, because of his heroin addiction and stuff like that. But then they got together and it sounds like everything is all good now, and they got a new family member at the same time as well. How beautiful is that? What do you guys think about this story? I know we got a fair amount of people from the LGBTQ community, so I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, how you grew up, how you came out as well. It'd be really interesting to know. So don't forget to post in that comments below. Our next story is "Caught my girlfriend cheating and I cannot cope, please help." So long story short, I found texts on my 18 male girlfriend 19 phone tonight. Texting her friend things like, "He pounded my shit. I got some of the best dick last night and oh my god, it was so good, I couldn't walk last night. I'm disgusted." It was her ex, whom I've always felt inferior to, like she just hadn't gotten over him even after over a year. "I'm distraught. I don't have anyone else in my life right now. My two best friends cut me off over something stupid a few weeks ago. I just moved into uni and I've only really clicked with one guy friend. My family and I don't get along nor communicate much. I lost my confidence, my support system and my best friend all in one night. She's really sorry. I saw her crying, she didn't know I could see her, and she was hitting the steering wheel over and over again. I feel bad, but like the lying and deception isn't new. I had to do it. I told her we're over, but she's welcome to try and win me back or whatever. I don't care. But fuck, this sucks. I have mental health issues, and so my coping skills are practically nil, and I just don't know how to cope with this. I can't eat, I can't sleep, I have a class in the morning, I keep picturing the text and visualizing him pounding her, and I'm just disgusted. I'm just obsessing over it, and it's 4 AM in the fucking morning. Part of me just wants to let it slide, if she does show effort at getting me back. I know in a while I'll be okay, but I just don't know how to get from part A to part B. Please help. Edit. Wow, I don't even know what to say. Guys, thank you so much for the overwhelming support. I get a new notification telling me to be strong literally every 3 seconds. I finally fell asleep at 7 AM and there were like 40 comments on this. I woke up and there are like over 800 beautiful people telling me to be strong. Thank you so much. Reddit is such a beautiful place. In the strangest way, I feel really capable of surmounting this today as opposed to yesterday. You guys definitely played a part in that. This is the kind of stuff that makes me remember not everyone sucks. Keep up being great in life, guys. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Edit 2. Jesus, guys, you're all a blessing. I just finished class and I've been getting notifications every 3 seconds. Going to do my best to get back to everyone. I'm doing much, much better. I feel freed rather than sorry for myself now. Thank you all. By far the most frequent advice was to hit the gym. I'm going to dinner right now, but I'm hitting the iron directly after. On top of this awesome wave of support from you all, I've had a few good things happen today that are just making this so much better. My job app for $20 an hour teaching SAT prep was praised for outstanding qualifications. I got invited to participate in the drug research here at my school, and my fucking package arrived that I've been waiting for a week. Also, one of my friends who cut me off reached out to me. I'm doing well, thank you all, you're a gift. Much love from my corner of the internet, you're all worth a platinum in my eyes. Cheers. Edit 3, I can't believe I forgot to say my ex-girlfriend. I did it, guys. Thanks for pushing me to stay strong on my boundary, you all are the best. And you can just imagine what all the comments said, basically just get the fuck out of there. No way get back with her, she's a piece of shit basically. I was in 2 minds about reading this one, but then when I read how well he's doing in life now and it turns positive in the end, I thought, oh, that's so good. But what do you guys think of this story? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, guys, thank you for being here today. If you did enjoy these stories, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe, and maybe that notification bell too, as it all truly helps out our channel. You're absolute legends, and I will see you in the next one. Much love, guys.